Hi, in this video we're going to focus on part 2 of the foam roller series, and that's going to be looking at the upper limb. So if you haven't seen the first video which focused on the lower limbs, look at that either before this one or later. We're going to do the upper body, which is predominantly the back, the sides, the torso and the backs of the arms. Just to cover a few points before we do begin, in case you haven't seen the first video. With foam rolling, it's meant to be as a maintenance routine. So if you have a specific injury and you're trying to ease something, probably best to get it assessed first to make sure that what you're doing is not going to make things worse. If something is tight, then something else is likely to be weak. So by trying to release the tight area, you could be making your certain area more unstable. So it's best to get assessed. And that's not to say you shouldn't do foam rolling if you have an injury, but get the injury assessed and find out why you're actually trying to stretch something in the first place, or foam roller. So important points: try and keep relaxed as possible when you're doing the rolling. If you're tensing up because of the positioning of your body, the way you're using your body to perform the rolling sequence, then you're going to be tensing up and trying to relax tense muscles, even though they're already tense. If you're getting pain from what you're doing, then your body's natural response is to tense up. So again, what you're going to be doing is a waste of time. You have to be relaxed. So again, this is more so for a maintenance point of view rather than for treating an injury, unless you know what you've been doing or what you're doing and your therapist has said, yes, you need to do this. So remember to breathe nice and deep and steady. Do not hold your breath when you're doing the foam rolling. Spend some good quality time on each area. Example I used before, if you went for a massage, which at the end of the day, this is what this is self-massage. If you went for a massage on your back and the person giving you the treatment spent 1 minute doing your back and moved on to somewhere else and didn't go back, you'd feel short-changed. So you have to spend some quality time to work into the tissues. For that, it has to be a relaxed state. You have to have the muscles nice and relaxed, or as relaxed as they can be. Breathing nice and steady, and gradually working deeper and deeper until you get to a stage where you think, okay, if I go any deeper, it's going to be uncomfortable, and just stick to that level. Now, this may take 5-10 minutes to get through. I know a lot of people I see tend to get quite bored with doing the foam rolling, so they do 30 seconds to a minute and if they moved on or they're finished. I had one client who said she foam rolls her whole body in 1 minute. So stay as relaxed as you can, don't go into pain, and linger on body parts. Okay, so we've got our Old Faithful foam roller. Just in case you haven't seen this before, this particular one is 15 centimeters diameter and 45 centimeters in length. It's quite firm, okay? Don't get one which is really soft and just gives way underneath your body pressure. This one's fairly flat with some very, very light markings in them, which I think is more for grip than anything else. If you get the ones with protruding nodules, probably will create quite a bit of discomfort unless that's your thing. Not going to go into the makes and various sizes and so forth. So we're going to use this for the back, but I'll also introduce two other little tools. First one is probably the most important tool you should have in your toolbox. Tennis ball, a good quality tennis ball that doesn't give in too much. It's got a little bit of give to make sure it's not too uncomfortable. Yes, you can use a lacrosse ball or something similar, but they're likely to be very, very hard and can produce quite a lot of discomfort. So a tennis ball's got a bit of give. Unlike this, a tennis ball you can work one-sided unless you get a very small foam roller, in which case why would you spend on a small foam roller? Get a pack of tennis balls. It's got a bit of give. It's more specific, so you can get in between the shoulder blade and into the lower back. I always make sure I got one of these if I go on holiday or go on a trip or anywhere on a course. Make sure I got one of those in my bag if I get any issues, or I'll do 5-10 minutes a day just as maintenance on specific areas. So one of the best things you can have, get hold of the tennis ball. I'll go into this in a bit more detail later, but this is basically 2 tennis balls taped together with masking tape. So you've got a little bit of a gap there, and use that for the either side of the spine. So first of all, we'll go through the foam roller, the main foam roller, and I'm going to work the back muscles. So I know you can get these which are double the length of these, but I really don't see the point. There's not really a body part that you're going to use that on. You may want to line it lengthways, but again, I don't see the point in that. That's not what it's really for. So position yourself, so I would position yourself mid-back initially. You're going to use your feet to support you, so your knees bent, feet flat, and give you the sort of propulsion to move back and forth. Now I would use your hands on the back of your head to support initially, work through the mid-back, and keeping yourself as relaxed as possible. Nice smooth movements, not too fast. You can slow it down if you wish, linger over little areas that are a bit tighter than other areas. Now this is sort of general working of the back. I would go up to the base of the neck or to the top of the shoulder blades. I wouldn't go any higher. You're not going to get much work done there. You may need to bring your elbows in to allow yourself to access the muscles between the shoulder blades. And again, they do tend to roll away from you, so you may need to adjust yourself a few times. Lower back, again, make sure your head is supported. It's not great for the lower back. You may want to relax your head down and use your elbows and feet. But to me, that is not, it's not specific enough. It's not getting in deep enough to the tissues. Also, if you want to get some mobility into the thoracic or the midsection of the spine, you can just relax your back and your bum down onto the floor, and then just lift the head up. You're not yanking the head forward, you're just almost crunching up, and that will help the spine. But it's not fantastic for the back. So here we go with the tennis balls. First, a singular tennis ball. Lie on your back, feet flat, knees bent. Just roll over. I would start putting the tennis ball between your shoulder blade and the spine, and then using your either hands and feet or your elbows or your upper arms and feet just to rock side to side. So you're going that way, and you're not coming off the floor at all. You're keeping as much body weight down as you possibly can. Just rock side to side and up and down. And you're not really moving much at all. You're not trying to lift your body off the floor and make big movements. The reason for this is you're trying to keep it quite specific in a small area. So maybe 1 to 2 inches of movement, and you will find some areas which are tighter than others which you would want to linger on. Do about 30 seconds or so, a bit longer if you need to, and move it up or down. Go to the top of the shoulder blade. Again, try and relax as much as you can. Side to side, best if you use your arms. There's not much movement from the body as such. And you can get down to the lower back and turn sideways on a little bit, and it'll get deeper into the lower back. Because you're not able to push against the rib cage, you may want to come down at a slight angle or turn your body at an angle. So you're basically pushing the muscles against the spine. Okay, so that's the tennis ball. If you're doing the back with that, I would probably spend 2 to 3 minutes per side of the spine. Make sure you don't go on the spine itself, so make sure you go either side and not on the spine itself. So for this tennis ball, this is a good way of working both sides of the spine, the muscles alongside the spine at the same time. Obviously your spine then would go in between the 2 balls, so you don't want to make this too taut, or it'll just break the tape, but make sure they just don't come apart. And then again, mid-back somewhere, make sure your spine is in between the balls and the muscles alongside the spine. on each ball. Again, same sort of movements, small movements up and down. You're not going to really be able to go side to side much on this because the balls can't really move, but you can do a little bit of movement, but predominantly up and down. Now, I think I got this a couple of years ago, the idea of this from Mike Boyle, who's a very well-known strength and conditioning coach in the States. I think he's in the States, he might even be Canada, but excellent tool. This is used predominantly to increase some mobility into the thoracic spine. Thoracic is the midsection where your ribs are at the back. So put the ball maybe at the bottom-ish area, and then you're keeping the back down on the floor and you're just raising the head. Again, not yanking too much. Move the ball up a little bit. Make sure it's in the right position, and up. Now I've already done a little bit of foam rolling already, so I'm not going to get much on this, but you may hear some adjustments at the back. Okay, a couple there, a bit more. Okay, so that's mainly for mobility of the mid back. So that's the main part of the back. Coming on to a bit of the side, back onto the foam roller. Use this top foot or the back foot and this arm, and even this arm if you need to, and do the side on. This will get into the lower back a little bit more. Again, not as good as a tennis ball, but if this is all you've got, use the feet, try and relax the upper body as much as you possibly can. So you're working in between the rib cage and the pelvis here. You may want to hold on to the foam roller. When you've done that, if we work on the lats, big muscles from the midsection of the back up to underneath the arm. Doesn't matter where you start, but I would again hold on to this, and you're working towards the back of the armpit area. Get nice and deep. Work into it gradually. Use the body to move. Bring it down. So alongside the rib cage. And feel there, it's coming in there nicely. Use the legs and your arm. Try not to use this arm that you're working on, or that side you're working on, to support you. Use this hand. Work all the way up. So that's your lats down the side there. Triceps muscles of the back of the arm into the elbow. Use the back of the arm, and again use your body and this top arm to roll. So palm face upwards. Then turn the palm facing slightly down or towards your feet. That'll do the medial head. And then turn the arm slightly backwards. And get the back of the arm, turn that a little bit more. Get right into the armpit here again, and all the way down to the elbow. Now again, you don't have to do the entire length of a muscle in one sweep. You know, do little sections. If it means you keeping your balance better, do one section at a time. So that's the majority of the back. I personally wouldn't go near the neck. You're better off doing that with your fingers, getting in there, so you're not putting too much pressure on without realising. The last thing I want to do is quite an important muscle group which a lot of people will neglect, and that's the pectorals or the chest muscles. So you've got the pec major coming from the collarbone and your chest bone going across into the arm, and you've got the deeper pec minor. Very important, is quite a common muscle that goes tight. Basically from the front of the shoulder blade, so deep in here, down to the ribs. Use the tennis ball for this. So, laying on your front, put the tennis ball deep in the shoulder, put your arm down there, and use your feet and your body to roll all the way around the clavicle or the collarbone, deep in to the groove in where the shoulder meets the chest. Get in there nice and deep. This may feel quite uncomfortable. So again, use this hand to support you. Keep this as relaxed as possible. and roll side to side. You may even want to just hold that pressure there and just sink your body down into the floor. Hold the pressure, keep your breathing nice and steady. So here you're trying to work all the way from sort of the close to the sternum or the chest bone, along the collarbone and deep into the shoulder. And again, spend a good few minutes on that and make sure you work both sides. So that's a video on using a foam roller and tennis balls for self-massage of the upper body. Keep relaxed, don't keep out of pain, and linger on the areas as much as you can. Good.